CT side as we get into the third and final map. Last time they met, EG upset the world and shocked everyone and took down Heroic in a 2-1 fashion. And Heroic will do anything right now to try and stop that from repeating itself. It's going to be very tricky if it happens one more time. I think everyone will start to clown on Heroic just a little bit.
To give this up would be a monumental defeat. One smoke for the top pond, though, and Shush underneath the balcony, unable to find anything. So EG, they're going to find this space on A.
Good start. Bomb plant to follow, trying to sneak out. He's actually made it. Nobody saw another swing from Stown. Can't believe he hit the follow-up headshot on the breeze. That looked like it was going to be way too difficult. 3 versus 4, and Stown's made it possible. Tessus will try and cement the round right here, and Hex is fighting his way back in, out in the open with the Glock. It's all on Nealon, and he's going to be able, well, he doesn't even reload, just go straight for it. 10-second defuse, though, on the other side, and it doesn't even matter. Tess is guarding that bomb defuse, and it's Heroic to pick up the pistol.
Big start for Heroic. You could see how that fires up Cadian, but great round from Stown to push out from CT, to take out that bomb planter, to take out another on top of that. The second kill is where it's really impressive here, to swing onto that player that's coming out from Palace. Excellent stuff. Right there, you see the second phase of that plan not really working out for Evil Geniuses. Automatic had that lurk from that underpass, but was unable to get the backstab in there on Tessus. We know that shooting players from behind in the head, it's such a difficult task, but I feel like so many people now are opting just for body shots if you're positionally advantaged on pistol rounds.
And it's such a tiny oversight to miss down walking out of CT spawn. It's probably what starts the whole cascade. It's not a lot, but the consequences are pretty dire. Push right up of the A ramp, and so far so good. 2 kills and 1 on the side of EG going down. A little bit of a comeback into the round for Heroic, though. 2 on 2, and they still have the health, and they have the weapons as well. It's going to be easy, actually. All right, wallbang from Stown on the other side is too far away to do much of anything with the P250. An expensive round. I would say that's actually a successful round for EG.
EG have been finding a lot on the rounds that have just been pistols, which is a bit concerning for Heroic. Might say something about the form of some of the individuals for them to give up so much ground to not actually find those opening kills that thin the numbers out as they're being approached. But also might say something about the EG players. Nice shots. Breeze there taking down, I think, a couple players. A well-placed shot onto Tessus. But like you said, I mean, that bomb plant, that damage, it'll set EG up wonderfully into this round. Great buy going for them, and we can see that the money is not too good for Heroic. So this is a round where EG can come back into this game. Early mid-smokes, they'll be finding space over there, but it's actually a bit of a ruse, as no one from EG is posturing in the middle.
Yeah, they're baiting out a bunch of grenades, though, which maybe Heroic are going to want to have back later on. Molotovs, a couple of HEs as well. Let's see what Nealon could do with the rest of the round. They've given up a lot of map control outside of the A-bomb side and even in middle. Which, I don't know, for some scenarios could be very, very scary. Hex is constantly looking for it, wondering, is there someone up in that palace? Do we have to be worried about it? Late retake of the middle, once Heroic have started to back on out. Still got a minute left.
This is not something you always see, to use 2 sets of utility to take middle. You usually feel like you're going to be behind in whatever it is that you try to converge on in terms of sights. And Hex, tries to jump at Tessus. That will be punished. And Stown there pushes forward to find Nealon. Cadian on the bomb site along with Tessus. With one Fang gone, this is a difficult approach from EG, but they're able to fight back. 2 kills in their name, but Stown, he's already so close. And Automatic tries to find an equalizer. Not gonna happen. Wiz in the 1v3, he's dancing around the bomb site, and it won't work in his favor. Shush to find the final kill, and Heroic, they stave off the first gun round.
It really feels like that push towards the ladder room that's the critical portion of it, because the B defense, they have no incentive to look away from the hallway once they realize that catwalk is safe. So as soon as they lose the fight there, it feels like there is no more attack really that could ever work on that bomb site. That's a bit unfortunate. You see, especially the sneak through here, the smoke, right? That's it. They know there's no one else on catwalk, and anyone in B, they can just be so focused on what's happening there. So they'll take it.
Nice start there for Heroic.
I think he was berating himself for jumping.
Yeah, That's an odd mechanical decision from Hex, and he recognizes that too. Jump peeking into a rifle, not usually going to be working out for you. And a similar start for Evil Geniuses here. They throw the same top, mid, and window smokes, and now they are pressing out. It's not a retake. They want to take it on the first go this time around, and it works for them. 2 kills in their name.
Yeah, not the slow approach from the previous round, and payoff for now. Bomb is quite far back, so someone obviously going to be in charge of picking that up, and they still haven't committed to much of anything. So far, they've just, I think, situated automatic deep in the connector. It's such an incredible position. If you can get anyone from the T side in there early on, you can start to play the whole rest of the round just basically pivoting off this position. 3 versus 5, and Heroic, what are they going to do? It looks like they're just not moving around that much. They're kind of frozen a little bit in time on the map.
This is where you would usually expect Heroic to make some kind of proactive play. Say, now and then, they'll go for a heavy stack, a gamble, to try to at least bolster their numbers on one side of the map. And they offer a very passive approach. 2 towards B, Yabby towards CT spawn. A bit tough to expect this one to find a victory, especially when Breeze is on the prowl. 1 kill for him, taking down Cadian, and he snipes Shush. Well-placed headshot right through the wall, but oh, wait a second. They're making their way to A.
Yeah, they are heading for it, but Hex is going to find that shot. Even if he didn't, yeah, I was worried the only real problem there would have been if time was really low. It was about 25 seconds, so I think they would have been able to do it either way. Flawless round, well done. First round on the board for EG. And you know, when I see that kind of mechanics coming up from Breeze, that could easily be the X factor here, because we did see it at least for one of the maps the last time that they played, that Breeze was showing up.
I love you!
Oh, I wish I... Oh, who does he love? Who do you love? Heck's been having a great time, and we're having a great time watching him. EG this time around, very simple approach. Again, they throw those mid smokes, but it is an A play.
Yes, it is. Deagle close, that's a nice shot. So satisfying when you get those 1 deeks up close. But the rest of it is going to be more difficult. Nealon hunting down Tessus, denying any kind of a retreat coming through. The bomb is on the site. Cadian can win this round. He does have the AK picked up. Not got a kit right now. That smoke. Ooh, he would have loved a fight that he could have won right away, but they just make it very difficult. And the problem with that is now not only they get the bomb plant, but they can move out. They can spread out behind it. And I think Cadian is recognizing too, it's not worth it. Hang out instead. So a second round, as the scoreline's going to be 3-2, still in favor of Heroic. But even after this, their money is obviously going to be completely trashed.
They forced.
Yep.
And it didn't work out for Heroic. Quick A pop. You could see the conditioning, though. There is another clear game plan for Evil Geniuses in this one.
Yeah.
Every single round, smoking top mid, smoking window, keeps the opponents in the dark. It forces Heroic to likely expend utility, which in turn telegraphs what it is that the defense is doing to try to play back against those smokes. You will always want a little bit of info when you're a team like Heroic. They always want to be the one that are aggressing, but they're going to do it with nades, and EG know that. So as soon as they hear those sort of nades that push towards mid happening, they know that they can actually push a smoke at A ramp.
Round number 6, and all they have is that 1 AK. A couple of flashbangs maybe to follow it up, but EG about to tie up the scoreline if they can just make their way through this round. Nice position to be boosted up on top. Only real problem is if you're going to get a peek from the underpass, but so far so good. And they're actually going to try and double down, see if they can go and pick up that rifle, which they have. Oh, this is a really huge success right now. EG, high pressure round. Let's see if they can fight their way out of this one.
Breeze spots him, but no, Cadian is able to win the fight with that saved AK. And things are so awkward now for EG. They're just trying to put things together, but it feels like Heroic have already settled into their defense. They took so much space away at mid, left a couple of stragglers here and there, and EG, they're left chasing ghosts. And this is just such a tough situation. Well done by Heroic to be so aggressive. It's a round that typifies their play style, and it nets them a victory that they probably shouldn't have found.
Smart move from Wiz to throw away the AWP. And he comes back with the burst fire. Fair play. I have no idea what he's saying, but it's great. Regardless, one trick to start the round with, and then a bunch of solid decisions afterwards that just made it work. Also, in this fight against Breeze, I think Yabby's holding below and just listening to the footsteps, so he can call in the Cadian, saying he's definitely right on top of me. Just be super careful coming in from Catwalk. Scoreline is 2-4, favoring Heroic, and they steal that last round and pick up an AWP even if they couldn't save the other one. Breeze walks right into that one, and it starts the round out very well for the CT side.
Nice opener from Cadian. Obviously was able to get it done with the rifle in the previous. This time wielding his signature weapon, and it works in his favor. Good spawn, good peek, everything for Cadian there, and now Yabby wants to keep pressing the issue. 5 versus 4. Generally speaking, don't always need to make a play here, but you can see that there are a couple players behind him at mid, and he just wants to hold on to this position. So Automatic has to be careful on his approach, or this is going to be another freebie. And it does look like Yabby will win that fight. Now it's a single-pronged attack for the side of EG. They're just trying to get out, but okay, 2 kills go their way.
That is so much more success than they should have had, given the scenario in this round. Easily, Heroic could have said, let's just play this 3-on-5 for the retake instead. Let's just even fight it. But they managed that they got a double kill, and now it's a 3-on-3. I'm so confused. EG, if they win this round, that's actually a bit unforgivable on the side of Heroic. This should never really be a big question. It's what we were talking about earlier in terms of minimizing mistakes. If they've made one here, Heroic, maybe it's going to come back to haunt them. Bomb is already ticked quite far, and Yabby's trying to sneak through, but Nealon, he's able to spot it. Tessus is down, and EG, after giving up a round of their own, they take one back, and that is surely going to be a little bit shocking to Heroic.
Heroic tried getting back into that round with a huge gimmick. Tessus smoking off his teammate in Yabby, and then trying to push through that smoke itself. Doesn't work out. In fact, I bet Nealon's feeling pretty good about it. I think this is going to look pretty silly if we see Nealon's perspective when he gets this kill right here onto Yabby. It was just free. Yabby's in a gray screen right there. There was no hope for him to actually win that fight.
Oh, shush! Don't pick your head up!
Okay. He's calling individuals out now. It's not even just a generic, general statement yelling at Heroic. He's making sure that everybody knows that it's Hex calling him.
Yeah, I think again, we're going to have a long compilation of this at the end of it. First timeout being used. I saw on social media, someone's made a comment saying that at some point, Katie needs to play with Smooya.
Would that be just too many cooks in the kitchen, though? Just
put Hext on that team, too. Why not? Just get it all.
All team trash talk. Yeah, that's what we need.
Maybe a future show match in the making.
Apex would be on that roster, too.
Yeah, that's right. Wheel Taz out somewhere from the... That'd be good. All right, timeout is done. And a very curious beginning to this particular map. Cadian trying to play a little bit of a trick. Initially dodging the flashbang, but I think that was a team flash that landed on top of him, so a little bit unfortunate. He's going to escape. I think he's realized there's too much panic happening in the middle, and it isn't worth it. Neither team has very much money to work with, but it's more of a problem for Heroic right now if they end up running out.
Great timing swing there for Tessus to open things up for his team. But Heroic, they had a 2-man advantage last round. So EG definitely feel like they are not down and out. They have space to work with. And Tessus, he wants to keep pressing on forward. This is very bold, and it might pay off for him and Heroic because there is nobody from EG. They have evacuated mid right after taking control, and Heroic, they're figuring things out, but they don't quite know if it's going to be a B hit or an A hit.
And the footsteps there, Automatic. He's going to give it away. Yabby will hear it.
Now they do.
Now they definitely do. And there should be a rotation somewhere in the back there at the B bomb site. Right now, still only 2 people at the A bomb site, so if they were really quick, Yabby's walking knife out this whole way, and he's going to see the setup as well. So, yeah, if they didn't know already, they have every read at the moment. Stound's going to be good for only the one, but what a lineup. MP9 couldn't have been a better position. And that's, again, the risk taken from the catwalk to find that information is ultimately what sets them up in that round.
Another risk is that Hex just called out Shush. And he mows him down for the double to finish. Don't want to keep poking these players always, but still, love the confidence. But I also think that the way that Tessus played this was fantastic. There's the peak, the timing. It's always up to that cat player to find these timing peaks towards middle.
Yeah.
Those swings, you usually put your strongest overall rifler there or connector. But ooh, no opportunity for Cadian. But it's just pistols for EG. Again, they've been finding a lot of success in terms of damage, finding bomb plants, but this might be a tough one, given they have no utility to work with.
What a flashbang setup. Just underhanded down out of the window. And it's going to be an easy cleanup in this particular round. Nobody goes down on Heroic. 6-3. They are taking a decent lead at the moment. And EG need to find a way to build another round here or there. See what kind of ideas they had. You mentioned earlier that they were doing a little bit of conditioning in terms of being a little bit fast on the A-bomb side. So I don't know if that's something that they can already sort of try and play with it a little bit. I mean, it's tough when you've lost a couple of rounds in a row, I suppose, to try and bring it back. But maybe they could try and fool Heroic and maybe force some kind of rotation if they wanted to play around with middle or B a little bit, try and see if there's going to be a quick rotation happening.
Oh, we'll see. They have a pretty heavy B-side lean already for the EG default here. And Heroic, they don't seem to feel that pressure towards middle. Tessus on the defense. Maniac talked about him, how he's so willing to push, jump into the fray. Last time we saw him on Cat, now he's back to his normal spot on the anchor. And I think that he's warmed up. I think this is going to be a scary prospect if EG do decide to just challenge him straight up. And they back on up. They don't want anything to deal with him and Yabby.
No mid-control for EG. It's so curious. It is... I mean, we saw it in the last round. It is taking a big risk letting the CT side find out. Now, for now, they're just kind of looking in their Heroic. They're not really committed to spotting it yet, but they have a pretty good read that nothing is going on. And it seems like it's just going to be pure timing. Walking up onto the site, and a very curious peek there. Cadian gets shot in the face. The flashbang also setting it up nicely. And Stown just has to live, but he's worried about the flashes coming around the corner. Good for the one, and even better for the double. Taking out Breeze, 3 versus 4. Wiz, he's out in the open, and when you miss shots, it's just going to be so dangerous. Yabby showing up right as the smoke clears, and he will mow them down.
Oh, okay. Chance for automatic here, but with 15 seconds and that HP, rather unlikely, unless he's presented opportunities like that, but does not look like he actually wants to commit to this one. So this will be a round for Heroic. And I just want to say, Stown stayed alive for so long at that stairs spot. He was turning away from potential flashes coming in his direction. And I think 3 separate people from EG took cracks on him, and they just couldn't get the kill. Good shots from Stown, good movement, positioning, all working in his favor.
Yeah, a huge round in that sense for him. And the difficulty of fighting and not getting flashed, you could really see how much the pressure is on. If he screws up that timing even once, then he's probably dead right away. He's having himself a nice game. 12-4 at the moment. Pistols back in the hand of EG. Nice grenade landing on them. And they are trying for a bit of a mid-rush. Maybe exactly for this. Try and get close to the AWP and see if you could run it down. But he's got so much backup in the middle, Cadian, that it's not going to be an issue. It's another flawless round for the Danes. They're starting to build up a lot of money, and could see the smiles, even on Exist, which is a rare sight.
You don't get that too often with him. Even... just wanna...
He's communicating with the sea animals at this point in time.
He's talking to the whales.
Yeah. It's the kind of sound that travels really far underwater.
Yeah. Okay. Cadian echolocating his opponents.
There's some kind of deep reference to be made here if anyone's watched The Boys. Yeah. Let's not investigate that further. In fact, I take it back. Erase the record. Delete the VOD.
Much to think about. Okay. EG going back to the drawing board for the upcoming round. Mid-control has proven difficult. They've actually found the space here and there, but it's been about converting. Feels like the attacks just straight onto bomb sites. 2 of their 3-round victories, at least, were just with pretty solid A hits, whether they were coming out of ramp or the triple out of Palace. But this is a lot of damage very early. Heroic are inflicting so much. They haven't spotted anybody, so they don't know what they just did. But,
That's true.
But EG do.
And that felt like, you know, maybe they were happy about getting as close as they got in the previous round with the pistols, and they sort of said, well, let's try and do it again with rifles this time. Maybe we can shock them. Maybe they won't expect it, but they definitely ran into some utility at the beginning of the round. And now they're shuffling about, and again with no mid control. I feel like this is a bit, you know, we talk about it on Inferno. If you can't take banana control, you are going to have a hard time playing the T side of Inferno. Well, if you can't take mid control on Mirage, you might have a similar issue.
Yeah, we see that there are a couple players from EG towards middle, but this is shaping up to be a full-on B hit. Tessus makes his way on top of the balcony. There is a smoke there. Oh,
wow.
that is some nice damage. Oh, he even has the molly ready to go. Feels like Tessus has no idea for certain what is coming, but he's doing everything he should in order to prevent it.
And he's got Yabi with him inside of the bomb site, which is, and the boost up in the corner. I mean, it's very difficult. If Tessus lives for 5 seconds once this is going on, everyone's going to be looking at him, and no one will be looking for the boost. That's actually a teammate, and he goes up. Hex with a nice headshot, but there's the boost into play. Tessus still at the back here, and he's just done everything right. 3-man setup at the B bomb site, and they shut it down.
Tessus played that phenomenally.
Yeah.
Right behind the bench. He was being spammed. So many players under that sort of pressure, they give it the chase up. They go for the swing, but those dinks, they do not disturb him enough. He just holds on to that ground, and it enables all the crossfires, all the rotations for Heroic, and they're able to secure yet another round. That was actually looking like it was shaping up very well for EG, but it was just even better play from the individual from Heroic.
9 rounds. We said we wanted a more even affair. If that's going to happen, if we're going to get our wish fulfilled, I think it's EG's time to shine here. Otherwise, they might get shut down very similarly as to what we saw on Overpass. It looks a little bit more even, but if you look at the numbers, maybe not so. Shush with a good back position. It's actually Stown doing all of the work around the smoke. He's found 3 kills, up to 18 and 5 right here. And he will at least assist on a couple of kills at the end.
All right. Cadian feels the momentum is firmly in his team's favor, and it is. Not even too much to be happy about there for EG. Could barely even find themselves any path into this bomb site. They couldn't even get past Tetris there. That was brutal. A massacre at the early stages of that execute. So, 3-10 scoreline. EG just feels like they need some more space. They need some way to break this defense to upset what Heroic are holding on to.
It feels unlikely right now. The whole team is playing very well, but they just have Stown, who's output at the moment, and especially being in this key position, center of the map. He can be everywhere all at once, basically. The fact that he's dropping 18 and 5 as a scoreline just makes it very, very hard to break through. And I think that, combined with the fact that the mid-control portion of this T side for EG just hasn't really been present at all, has made it just very difficult to do anything. Shush going to be moving forward. Rifles around the corner. He picks up the one. And Stown is there for the follow-up. He's, yeah, distracted from that shot, even though it wasn't even close to him, I think. But just the fact that he had to look away might have given him a bit of an edge in the last fight. 3 versus 3 now. Tess is hiding inside of the bomb site. He's flashed, but nobody is peeking him. He's just waiting it out. Wants a double if he could get it. Gonna pick up that one, and because you could tell there was no delay between those 2 kills, Hex walks right into the shot. An automatic now on his own with 35 seconds. He's looking for it. He knows where one of them is. Might have a good eye read on the second player too. And he's trying to get as close as he can. But he's been spotted, and he's been brought down as well. Cadian on top of the ticket booth to take him out.
What an excellent hold there from Tessus. So swift. Did so much work as the B anchor, but you put him at A, and he's got it too. Double push early on from Heroic, taking the fight on their own terms, but it gives such advanced warning, which is how Tessus is able to get so deep onto that A site to play a position that EG obviously were not expecting, and yeah, just nothing going the way of EG in this half. After that beginning, it's just been lights out. early spot there from Cadian. Noticed Nealon, and Nealon, he's trying to draw this distraction, but now everybody from EG coming out A.
Yeah, Shush almost getting caught on the ledge, but he's still here. And now they're just jiggling to try and take over fights left and right. They're feeling really confident right now, Heroic. Some of these fights, I don't even think are really necessary, but they're doing it anyway. Just absolute boldness coming out. Wiz in the back on his own, and he gets hunted down 12-3 in favor of Heroic at the end of the first half. That